This is lesson 3.4, elementary algebra, more on graphing intercepts. Alright, so let's talk about what an intercept is. And you've already done some of those. So let's just quickly review what those are. An intercept is wherever a line crosses one of the axes, the y-axis or the x-axis. So if a line goes from left to right, and it does that, it crosses the y-axis here and the x-axis here. Those are intercepts. Those are where they intercept or cross those lines. So we have a y intercept, and we have an x-intercept. Okay, so let's look at what happens here. Now when I have a y-intercept, I always start here at the origin. To find this point, did I go left or right anything? No. So my x value in a y-intercept is always going to be 0. We didn't go left or right. We just went up on the line. So we went up, let's just say we went up 3. So there's my y-intercept. The x value is always 0, and then the y is whichever number it is that is crossing the y-axis. Now the x-intercept is the exact opposite. We, first of all, our number went over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we put a 5 here. Did we go up or down from this line? No, we were on the line, so that means our y value went up or down 0. So in an x-intercept, the y value is always 0. So y-intercept, the x is 0. The x-intercept, the y is 0. Alright, so in this particular section, we're going to be graphing and coming up with the intercepts. So let's get rid of all of this stuff here so we can get started. Alright, so let's look at 3x minus 2y equals 6. Alright, we want to find out the x and the y-intercepts. So if we want to find out the x-intercept, remember, y has to equal 0. So whenever we see a y in this equation, we're going to put a 0 in its place. And we're going to find out what the x value is. So 3x equals 6, divide by 3, divide by 3, so x equals 2. So when y is 0, x is 2. So that's one of the points that we're looking for. Alright, so let's get rid of all this, and now let's find the x-intercept. Oh, that's what we found. Okay, so let's find the y-intercept. So the y-intercept says that when we look for that, our x is going to be 0. So we're going to get a 0 there, and we're going to try to find out what our y value is by putting 0 in for x. I'll put a 0 in there. 3 times 0 is 0. Then we're going to divide by negative 2, divide by negative 2. Those cancel, so y equals negative 3. So we're going to take that negative 3 and put it in there. Alright, now, given those 2 points, all we have to do is graph those. So let's bring our graph down here, and let's graph point 2, 0, where it crosses the x, and 0, negative 3, where it crosses the y. So what do we have here? We have a line that goes just like that. Okay, so that's doing x-intercept and a y-intercept. So let's practice that a little bit more by looking at example number 2. So let's move this out of the way. Alright, so example 2 says negative x plus 2y equals 4. Finding the intercepts. Alright, so let's find the y-intercept. You use a y-intercept when x equals 0. So our parenthesis is going to be 0 something. So we're going to put 0 in for x, so negative 0 is just going to be 0. So that goes away. Divide by 2, divide by 2, y equals 2. So when x is 0, y is 2. Okay, so let's do the x-intercept. And that is going to be when y equals 0. So let's go ahead and do that. Negative x plus 2 times 0 equals 4. 2 times 0 is 0, so that'll all go away. So we have negative x equals 4. And remember, if we have a negative variable, a negative x on one side and a 1 number on the other side, we just switch the signs. That's a plus, that's a minus, and we're good. So my x value is negative 4 when my y is 0. Okay, so let's move all this over here, because all I need is the 0, 2, and the negative 4, 0. So 0, 2, that's where it crosses y. Negative 4 is where it crosses x. I draw my line, and there's the graph of my line. So really, all finding the intercepts does is gives you a real quick and easy way to graph the line, because you know that your x and y values at one point are going to be zeros, and it's just a lot easier to work with zeros. So let's do example 3 and then call it good. Y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. Let's find the y-intercept by making x equal to 0, and I just keep writing that just so that you can slowly start remembering which one is going to be 0. So this gives me 0, so y equals 2. So when x is 0, when x is 0, y is 2. Alright, let's do the x-intercept, and that is when y is equal to 0. So 0 equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. Subtract 2, and I get negative 2 equals negative 1/3 x. Alright, so let's take this and rewrite it up here so we can continue, because I ran out of blackboard. Alright, so how do I get rid of this negative 1/3? Well, I divide by 1/3, negative 1/3, and I divide by negative 1/3. That makes these go away over here. What happens over here? I have negative 2 over 1 divided by negative 1/3. And the reason I did the negative 2 over 1 is I wanted to make that a fraction. So you look at the bottom, you invert it, and you multiply. So that gives me positive 6 over 1. So my x value is going to be positive 6, because negative 2 times 3 is going to give me a positive 6. So for my x-intercept, when my y is 0, I found out my x was 6. Okay, so there's my 2 points. So let's get our graph back up here. Oops. Okay. So I graph 0, 2, and I graph 6, 0. And I draw a line, and there's the graph of that equation. Okay, so that's it for lesson 3.4.